to that mark. So when you've buried the rope, and this is where you determine the size of your loop. So if that's, I already lost it. Anyway, if that's mark 2 and I need a big loop, then obviously, you know, it's going to be different than if I'm just putting it around a thimble.
Okay. There's the mark.
I don't know. I lost it. We can put tape around it too.
No, right there. There you go.
Right there.
2.
Okay, so mark 2. So assuming, and usually you come out, you can see how if you followed these lines out, they would come together about an inch from the end. So, you know, that's there. Follow around. Mark 3 would be approximately here.
Okay, so make the mark.
Yeah, make a mark right in there. 3 marks. And you would be able to adjust that after, but when you get this through the thimble, you essentially want these marks to more or less line up. So once you start and you feed this through here, you basically want to feed it through until your marks line up again.
Okay.
So you do one fid length. That's where you're going to start the taper.
The taper is at, you know,
do
mark 1.
3.5 from mark
3 and a
1.
half would be mark 2.
Wait, so you do one mark. That's where you're going to start your taper.
Yep.
And then you do 3.5
From the end of the rope.
from the end.
From the beginning of the rope.
Okay, so
Yep.
then you do 2.5.
Because the taper is still part of the berry splice.
Oh, okay, so you do
They're
one.
just
That's where you
reference
start your
marks.
Taper, and then
Yep.
2.5.
And I apologize, I don't have a better marker to mark this rope. The rope
Okay,
is
so
so
there's
dark.
there's my 2 and there's my 3. So that's how it's gonna go.
More or less,
with,
yeah.
With the
right,
thimble
with
and-
this
and
in
that.
there. So when you feed it through here, you want to feed it through so that, you know, those marks line up right here.
Okay.
And they should be ones that point together. They cross at a point.
Skip 2.
Do you want the
So
zip
Mike
tie?
is marking where we're going to cut rope to taper the end of this thing so it thins out. So he's got it skipping every other group of threads. You can see, you can hardly see the black marks, but there you go. Let me skip, there we go, yep. And that's what we're gonna cut to taper the rope. And
Yeah, that looks right, because these are next to each other. Those are next to each other. Yep.
your final product there, Jim, almost final product. So he's got his rope weaved and hidden inside the rope. Now he's gonna do a lock stitch
Yeah, but there's a
to
certain...
make sure everything stays together. Looks good,
Yeah. That's relatively simple.
yeah.
So what you're gonna need to do, and I'll put the video up on the TV. The Samson video really explains it really good. It takes a few minutes to do. There's a certain way to do it so the thread doesn't pull out. What that does, remember the first McDonald Brummel lock we did where it self-locked onto itself? But I said you gotta pass the loop through it so you can't do it with a thimble. So we can't do that kind of a lock. The lock we're gonna do, we're gonna pass a needle and thread through here 1, 2, 3 times. Then we're gonna turn 90 degrees and go 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna tie a knot in it. And it's gonna be in there. You can see it on that extension rope that I made. So it's essentially, it's this.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And that, what that does is keeps this, because right now this could work itself loose, and this, if you were to pull this strand, will come right back out. So you want to avoid that. And what I would recommend actually is if you want to make this a little neater, is to actually tuck that in a little tighter up here and get rid of some of that. See how this one's kind of tight?
Okay.
If you want, now's the time to do it.
Just redo it, but tighter?
Yeah, so just pull this right out. And then put it in tighter up here.
Okay, Mike.
Wish you would have told me.
I went by the marks, damn it.
Well, I know the marks are kind of a guide. Let the marks be your guide, but sort of follow. See if you extended them down where they're gonna cross.
Sure, yeah, I was wondering that. I was like, okay, well, screw it, I'm gonna go with his marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We made the marks on the outlet because we didn't have the rope through the loop, you know. So it's sort of a
Guesstimate.
it's a guesstimate.
Yeah, well, there's the marks right there, so.
Yep. Yeah, and then just do your bury your splice again. And
Yeah, that's
so
smart.
deflating.
Putting tape on the end so the braid doesn't fall apart. There's the fast fid to grab the rope.
I don't think the fit would have been long enough.
Nice.
But yeah, it's probably just.
And then the fit itself gets screwed on so we can weave it in between the threads. All right. Let's watch Jim do his magic.
All right, so I'm gonna start it a little higher this time.
Yep. So passing through.
Just gonna feed this through. Kind of finds its own way.
Yep. So it's hollow in the middle of that rope.
Yeah, when you like expand it.
Yep.
A pain in the butt, this is kind of.
Just remember to come out far enough down that when you bury it, the tail will disappear.
So you just run your fit tool down the middle?
Right down the center, but it's easier said than done.
Mark the end, because you want your fid to come out further down. You'll see why when we get to that point.
Further down?
So I would take a piece of tape
Yep.
and go about a fid length pass, and just put a piece of tape around it as a reference, so that's like your target to come out, because you're gonna pull the fid out there.
Who's got the tape?
It's over here. There's my mark.
Oh, you gotta get all the way there. Getting close.
So now, I yanked Jim's out. I said, you gotta tighten that up a little bit. So he had his,
Nice.
so what I told him is you wanna put that in.
And just pull it all the way
You don't wanna
through.
go in down here, maybe
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
gap. So go in about an inch beyond. And what you're gonna do is just open the rope up and get your fin started. So put it on, well, put it on the, you can put it on there first if you want, whatever's
Should
easier.
we take this out or leave it in for
Leave it
now?
on, yep. Compress that basket and get it all the way deep down in there. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
So that, once we get both these guys to that point, we'll do the lock stitch and then they'll be done.
A knife.
And then
Here, I'll let you do
careful
it.
with that because what you don't wanna do with the fid is see how these are individual strands? When you're putting that sharp point through, you don't wanna pierce through one of these
Oh, Jesus.
and separate them, as best you can.
Thank you.
And now you're just gonna work that down until you can get that fid to come out here.
Now you pull it, it should disappear inside the rope.
It's white,
Yeah.
like they dye it after
They
they
do,
put
the
it
rope
together.
is dyed. That's how they get the color.
No, I mean like after it's put together, so
So this is called milking the rope.
But
That is a technical.
Milking
official-
the rope.
Yeah, milk it, and you'll see the tail will suck up right inside the. See how it disappeared?
Disappears, yeah.
And now you have a nice smooth taper.
Now it's a little
It's all
tighter.
hidden inside. Nice.
That
Yeah.
looks good. Yeah, as much as you can get it, it's gonna stretch out.
There you go. Nice.
So usually the tighter
Final product. There we go.
you start.
Yeah. That's a little extra there.
If you want to cut it off, that's fine. I mean, it's just going to get bound up. It would be better just to trim off any extra. You got an update on it, huh, Mike?
All right, so they've attached the rope to the drum, and they leave the length of the drum rope there so that the rope will wrap around. Okay, so I'm just gonna winch it in, put a few wraps on it.
I think your time is greater, so put more pressure again. Yeah.
You want a glove so you're not pulling that through your skin?
Actually,
Just enough to go to the edge. Yeah. These are actually Bill Hastings gloves.
The other thing
He leaves
too
them
is
everywhere.
the rope is
He
pulled
buys
through
them by the
itself
dozen.
to lock in onto that little tab piece that locks that bolts onto the drum.
So leaving breadcrumbs in these gloves?
Glove crumb. That's hard to say.
that's good because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but
Listen, I'm curious how it is once it doubles up on that metal clip.
So then what's the, what do they call
You do is I can put my pickup truck in the street up here, uphill, and you can winch up. There's a nice gradual incline right in front of the house.
And how far do you let the rope out?
All the way.
All the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start with, your 4 wraps on the drum, and then. Well, we'll get it all hooked up. We'll get the hook on the end.
Sales director. Your
you, sir.
success
I don't
is-
feel like
is
I'm
your-
doing a good job. I just try to do what would be best for everybody to,
No,
with
you
input.
do a lot. You're keeping it going.
I wish we
this is
could
a-
pick up participation. somehow.
Trapdoor to the
Yeah,
winch
well, there's that.
attachment.
Well, I mean, we can get the controller and spin it.
So
I
Mike
just
is
took it off
just
because I'm the driver.
cleaning up the drum before he attaches the rope. That's what I got to do on mine, 'cause I have a lot of
What do
rust
you
on
call
my
this
drum.
stuff?
Scotch Brite.
So we just scotch brighting
just a,
the surface to clean up the
Scrubby
surface.
pad.
I thought we were supposed to be using sandpaper or something.
Do you have any heavy burrs?
It's the newer model of the same thing, but whether it's identical or not, I don't know.
There's the hole that the rope will go through.
Where's your brother?
Yeah, great winch. They don't make these anymore. These warrants. Super
Serial
fast.
number 111775,
I bet he's probably gonna come.
batch number 8103.
He's probably gonna go back and throw back his window, throw the wheels over the no.
Nope, that's a serious winch.
Controller used to plug in here. Bill changed it to this because the wiring went bad.
Chips in it?
But it really
Okay. Didn't get it on video, but we got Mike's rope wound in, and we're gonna go outside, put it under load, and winch it back in under load, under tension. We'll be all finished. Put the new fairlead in, ropes in,
Oh, the bottom one that says L, the big button on the left.
All right, final step. Gonna
Yeah, because we're gonna rewind this and get
pull
it
out the
really,
rope.
set it really nice on the drum.
Rewind it, put tension on it so it sits nice and tight on the drum. So to prevent the ropes from falling in between the wraps and getting wedged. So we want to put it in nice and tight.
Is that all the way out?
Nope, you got more. You got like
So all I gotta do is put it in neutral.
Yeah, and somebody,
Start spooling.
yeah, you want to sit in there with the remote and just hold some light brakes?
I can do that.
Because what'll happen is you'll get it rolling and it'll keep rolling.
Yeah.
And I'll be in front of it and I'll be a wheel chop. I got too much to do today for that.
Alright, so what do we want to do first?
Just light brake, neutral, and start winching yourself towards the forklift. You're gonna winch you. That you're gonna winch.
I'm going that way.
You're gonna pull yourself that way.
I guess I'm gonna need.
Aim for the forklift and just start winching in.
guiding the line in.
Doesn't really matter if you get the last few feet tight, because you got to pull it
You
off.
gotta
of there
pull it out
anyway.
anyway. All right, nice and tight. Look at that. Very nice. Nice.
Some stuff.
Yeah, I got some. I didn't do as good a job as he would though.
This is laser?
We're just right now. I'm just doing a dry run of the perimeter, the shape of the parts. It's a plasma cutter, but it's
Oh, plasma.
CNC control.
Yeah.
Now it's got to cut 2 more parts out of that.
Cool.
I threw the blocks of steel on there, Colin, just so the plates weigh it down, not waving or
Wait,
moving.
why are you recutting them all again?
Because it was the wrong thing. I used the steel, the aluminum sheet I had before was too thick.
It was?
Yeah, it was.
Did you get any of the? Did you get the new
That's the.
consumables then?
I did.
Did you put them into the?
So that looks like the
It
die
wasn't a
line
consumable problem.
design
It was
that's
a
going to be cut out
cable.
on the plasma table. Mike's redoing the side panels of his dash. He changed the dimensions on it, so hopefully we'll get to see how it cuts. There's Recon 1 under the knife. Rick, you're doing a great job on your videos. So I'm getting a little sneak peek of the work that got done. Nice brackets. He's looking at 2. He did the rear ones. So Mike's gonna
Pour it right over this edge here.
pour some water in there. So what's the water for, Mike?
Keep the sparks contained. Actually, the computer's right there. Are these two sides connected, Colin?
Yeah, it's all connected. We're missing is
Honey, what do you want me to do? It'll just run off the front of the plate. Cut, so.
Alright. Here's the real cut. I'm not gonna look at this.
There's an airline that plugs into the back of it. And then there's a, see that aluminum cap?
Rick's Jeep. Growler.
Bottom side.
The
yeah.
bird generally is the bottom side, yeah.
So that would be the bottom side. This would be the
Right,
top
it would have
side.
cut this way. So, but it'll clean up all right. See, the other one looked pretty much like this too until I spent like a couple minutes with a sanding block and just took off that little bit of, they call it dross. I don't know what that stands for. It must stand for something because that sounds like too weird of a word to decide that's what it would be called.
Right.
So,
Cool.
yeah.